Today I want to talk to you about how a photojournalist can cover a protest ethically, safely, and responsibly. Today, I'm going to walk you through how a photojournalist can cover a protest safely and responsibly, from preparation to awareness in the field to protecting yourself and the people around you when things escalate. Protests are unpredictable environments. Some are set around a certain location, and others are marches. Some have permits, and some just form organically. Your job is to document history, but no image is worth your life. As we have seen in the past month, people are dying at protests. Here are some tips for you before you ever step into the crowd. I have covered the Trayvon Martin murder near Orlando, the Black Lives Matter protests in New York City, Seattle, and throughout Florida, the No Kings events across the country, the Wall Street protests, social protests in Haiti, and plenty more. One thing is certain, no two events are the same, and none are predictable. The first major tip I have for you is to always go with someone else or team up with other photojournalists on the ground when you arrive. Watch each other's backs. Before leaving home, preparation is your first layer of safety. Wear neutral, non-provocative clothing, no slogans, no political messaging. Dark, durable clothing is best. Avoid anything that draws attention to yourself. Your footwear matters. Wear closed-toe shoes or boots with good traction. Sneakers are not the best choice, but they're good for when you need to move quickly. But getting stepped on by either a human, an automobile, or a horse will certainly slow you down. Another tip is to write phone numbers on your arms with a Sharpie. Either the phone numbers of your editor, family members, or a lawyer. If you feel the protests make it violent, a helmet or hard cap protects you from thrown objects. In a pinch, even a skateboard helmet will do. For eye protection, I prefer clear, sealed goggles. This helps against debris and chemical irritants and will allow you to look through the viewfinder. A respirator or a mask rated for tear gas is critical, but please be sure you know how to use it before you arrive. There's nothing like showing up and not knowing how it works and then getting gassed. Some people wear ear protection. This reduces the damage from the flashbangs or the crowd control devices. If you want, gloves can protect your hands while moving through the chaos, but just make sure that you can still dial your camera with them on. I always bring bandanas and water. Wiping irritant from your face with your shirt will only cause trouble later, so use the bandana if you can. Do not carry too much camera gear. I've seen people load up and they can't move, they can't run, they can't duck, they can't get out of the way. Stick to the small cameras and lenses. I only carry a 24-70 and a 70-200. Some people clearly mark themselves as press, P-R-E-S-S, right across their chest or their hat or their helmet. But just understand that this does not always guarantee protection. In fact, it may make you a target, just depending on the certain city that you're in and what type of demonstration it is. Finally, carry other forms of communication if needed. Walkie-talkies can connect you to others who might see something that you don't see. Or if you get lost, you might need to get in touch with them that way. Always know the protest's purpose, the location, and the likely flashpoints. Preparation is how you survive the unknown. I like to park away from the scene if possible and walk in. I don't leave any gear in my vehicle, and if you're in a bigger city, take the train in. You might need a way home if things go south. Once on location, stop and observe before shooting. Ask yourself, where's the crowd the densest? Where are the authorities positioned? Where are the barriers, the choke points, and the open streets? And what looks out of place? Always identify at least 2 exit routes, one obvious and one alternative. When I was in New York City covering the Black Lives Matter protests, I had to duck underground into the subway with another person that I didn't even know to get ahead of the walk because it was just so dense. And this really helped me when I needed it. Keep your head up, not buried in your viewfinder. You're not just photographing the moment, you're reading it. Also, don't be the reason that someone reacts. Be ethical in your coverage and only shoot what you see. Do not become a part of the story. Trust your instincts, and if something feels wrong, it usually is. Remember, not everyone at a protest has the same intentions. There are always a few bad folks hovering about. Watch for individuals masking up when the tensions start to rise, or people testing the barricades, groups breaking away from the main crowd, and sudden movement towards law enforcement lines. Escalation often comes before violence. If chanting shifts to shouting, if objects start flying, if the police formations tighten, if you see a fire, smoke, or loud bangs, that's your warning, and you'll feel it, I promise. Always know where authorities are positioned. Police or ICE movements signal what's coming next. Lines tightening often precede dispersal. Vehicles, whether it be bikes or cars, repositioning always suggests crowd control. Officers donning masks or shields usually means chemical agents are imminent. Also, stay out of kettles. Move laterally, not deeper. Never let yourself get boxed in. The police use a technique called kettling. It's a controversial police crowd control tactic where officers surround and confine a group of people in a limited area, preventing escapes to facilitate arrests, control unrest, or manage large demonstrations. This technique traps protesters and photographers alike, sometimes for hours, and can involve denying access to food, water, restrooms, leading to heightened tensions, legal challenges, and accusations of violating constitutional rights. Remember, you document, you do not intervene. Cover what you see. Avoid standing between the crowds and the police lines. Remain professional, calm, and visible as press, but never confrontational. You're an observer, not a participant. If tear gas is deployed, don't panic. Simply move upwind or uphill immediately and do not rub your eyes or face. Use saline or clean water to flush your eyes and blink naturally. I know it burns, but it will dissipate if you leave it alone. Avoid home remedies like oils. They can trap chemicals. Do not wipe with your clothes either. Use that bandana that I spoke about earlier. If your breathing becomes compromised, exit immediately and call for help if need be. There's always people there to help. Tear gas affects your judgment. Your priority is distance, fresh air, and recovery. Also, check on your partners when you can and make sure that they're okay. I've been without sight for about 5 minutes and it sucks. It hurts, but I'm still breathing. Rubber bullets are unpredictable and dangerous. Plenty of photojournalists have been injured by these. They often bounce off the ground or objects before impact. To reduce your risk, never stand directly in front of law enforcement lines, though that doesn't seem to matter anymore. Stay mobile, always on your toes. Use solid cover, not concealment. Get behind something that will stop projectiles. If you hear rapid popping sounds or you see officers aiming launchers, that's your cue to reposition or retreat. And if someone you know is hit, help them to move to safely. Apply pressure to their bleeding if they're bleeding and call for medical assistance. Do not continue shooting while injured. I know it's going to be hard to do, but you got to take care of each other first. I also carry a trauma kit, a first aid kit if you will, but you got to know how to apply pressure to bleeding. You got to know how to treat minor burns or chemical exposure, how to recognize signs of shock, and also how to lose a tourniquet. This is a must. If someone collapses, or if they can't breathe, or if their injuries are severe, stop documenting and get help. Journalism does not come before a human life. As I stated earlier, your exit plan matters as much as your entry. Leave before the crowd turns, leave before the curfews, and leave before the arrests begin if you can. Police will give a warning or two before they start to get aggressive. Listen for the commands and make your choice then on what you want to do. Do not follow the crowds blindly either. Once your path out starts to shrink, it's already time to go. There's always another story tomorrow, if you make it home. So this is just a small example of what you can do during a protest or a demonstration. And I know that there's a lot more I can go into, but I won't at this point. This is just the basics for the people that are interested in going out there and getting started. Covering protests is essential work no matter who your client is, but they are never the same. All have unique obstacles and hazards. This job requires courage, discipline, and constant awareness. Your responsibility is not just to your audience, but to yourself, your colleagues, your family, and the people around you. Stay alert stay ethical, and stay alive. Because the most important image is the one that you're still around to take.